what's going on, people? Welcome to another episode of the Mandem Read. Today we're joined with Shani Akilah. Hold on. Did I butcher it?
No, it was good.
Yeah?
It was good, yeah.
Okay then. And she's here with a book called For Such Time as This. Start again. Sorry, I read that
You're good,
so
man.
badly.
Nah,
I'm rusty. Hold on.
Right.
What's going on, people? Welcome to another episode of Mandem Read. It's your boy B. I'm joined with the Mandem. I'm here with
Jamal.
I'm here with,
Peace, Pat.
and we've got a special guest today. We've got Shani Akilah.
Hey.
How you doing?
Good, thank you.
She's the author of the book For Such a Time as This, which we'll be getting into and speaking to Shani about her journey as an author by writing this book and what inspired her to write it and just getting to know her a bit better. So yeah, let's get into it.
First of all, is that you on the cover?
It's not me.
Okay. Just wanted to clear it up.
A few people have said that though.
Yeah.
I would say it's probably the main character in the story,
Yeah, yeah.
Naya. Yeah.
So, Shani, first and foremost, like, who are you, Shani? Who are you? Where you coming from? How are you getting into writing? What's your journey to becoming an author?
Yeah, so yeah, I'm Shani from Southeast London. That's very important.
Big up.
You got a rep?
Big up, South. You know?
Have to.
The east part of the south, but yeah, big up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's still a great part of South London.
Of course, yeah.
I'm Caribbean, so my parents are, my dad's from Guyana, my mum's from Jamaica and Barbados. I love traveling. I turned 30 this year, and I basically set a goal of traveling to 40 countries by the time I turned 30.
How many countries have you been to?
You know, I was gonna
40.
ask that.
You done it?
Yeah, I did it.
What's
I
your,
did
what's your
it.
favourite one?
Oh, that's so hard.
Top 3.
Kenya.
Is it?
Yeah, I love Kenya.
Pole.
Yes, I forgot what that means.
Slowly.
Slowly. They said that in Zanzibar.
I was in Zanzibar when they said that to
me.
me.
Swear down, you've been Kenya.
No, I've been Zanzibar, bro.
Oh, right.
But they all speak Swahili, innit?
Yeah,
So it's like,
yeah.
For real.
Yeah, so to be fair, Zanzibar was amazing as well.
They're too laid back, innit? It's just...
I love it, but that's what you need though. I was on holiday.
Well, how many African countries you been to?
Wait, pause, sorry.
Yeah, top 2. You need,
Okay.
we need 2 more.
Yeah.
2 more.
Sorry, I'm
Ghana.
gonna interrupt you again. Why Kenya is your top country?
I really enjoyed it. We went on safari.
Okay.
Love giraffes. Love elephants. So that was amazing to see up close and personal. I lived in Ghana for like 6 months.
Oh,
as
nice.
well. Part of my undergrad degree.
Nice.
And that was amazing. And I feel like this one's a bit of a cheat, but because I'm from there. But yeah, I love Jamaica.
Yeah.
I love Jamaica.
I was waiting for you to say that.
No, you just got
I
to
love
say that.
Jamaica.
It's one
I
of
love
those
waiting for you to
Jamaica.
say that.
I love
Yeah,
Jamaica.
yeah.
Whereabouts in Jamaica are you from?
So my granddad he lived in Mandeville.
Mm.
Yeah. I've got family in Kingston as well.
Okay. Sick.
So what, you studied here in South? What school did you go to?
Oh, well, pause. We won't do what school she went to. That's
Why
very
not?
personal. People can Google her.
Would you
That.
want to answer that?
I don't mind.
Okay.
It was so long
It's
ago.
good
Because
School
this
she went
guy's
to
got a
might-
background that you don't want to
It
talk
might have influenced the journey into becoming a writer, right?
That's true.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, it's true.
You might inspire all the young people from your school,
Yeah,
actually.
it's
I'm being rude.
It's true.
Oh, man.
So I went to Plumstead Manor School. It was a girls' school at the time. It's now a mixed school. And then I went to Dartford Grammar Boys' School for sixth form. So
What?
The sixth form was mixed.
It's mixed, yeah.
Yeah.
Some six forms are like that.
It's quite funny. I got mentioned from like them kind of places, and I think like Dartford seems a bit far from like Plumstead. What was that like for you?
It was. I mean, it's like we got the 96, well, 89.
It's like 10, 15 minutes, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's not
then
too
From
far.
Plumstead?
Yeah, it's not.
Is
not
it?
too- yeah, it's like a 10,
Yeah,
15-minute drive. It's not too far.
it's not too bad. Like a lot of us did it. So it was
Is
fine.
it?
Yeah, it was fine.
Okay, so it wasn't like a culture shock going to like
Mm.
Dartford and you like whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
So what-
Dartford now is really different to how it was
Yeah,
back
yeah.
then. There's a lot of black people.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but that's what I mean though. Is in like coming from Plumstead going to Dartford, was it like a lot of white people and you're kind of like
I don't think the change wasn't as stark even back then. To be fair, because I feel like in Dartford Grammar Boys there was a lot of black boys even then, but this is way more now.
so the sixth form was mixed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So at what point did you say I wanna start writing? And what influenced you?
I think I've always loved writing.
Mhm.
Both my parents are university lecturers, so
Nice.
I've kind of always grown up around books and reading. I was reading from like a really young age.
What subjects?
In what, GCSE?
No, you.
Oh,
your
my parents. So my dad, he's retired now, but he taught theology, and my mum teaches arts management.
So you're religious?
Yeah.
Okay.
What kind of religion?
I'm a Christian.
Big up. My ask a question, yeah, in regards to your parents when they first became like lecturers and stuff. What years was that like? And have you ever spoke to them about what it was like, you know, being lecturers as black people back in the days?
I mean, even now, it's not easy. Like a lot of structural kind of barriers, like racism. I remember when my mum kind of first became a lecturer, she wasn't seen as a lecturer. A lot of people thought she was a student, like bullying and harassment, all that kind of stuff. So it's not an easy industry to work in at all. But she's got a much better experience now, and she's like more senior and stuff. So that does help.
And talking about religion, the title of your book.
Yeah.
Is that from Esther 4:14?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
I know. So I did a little research, and maybe you want to explain for such a time as this.
Yeah.
Refers to Esther 4:14.
Yeah.
About Esther, who was appointed queen, and
yeah. So Queen Esther, she was a queen, and she was Jewish, and she basically kind of used her position to kind of speak up for and like save her people essentially in the Old Testament.
And in doing so, her life was at risk. But with God by her side, she knew that she could free her people. So I think the message there is, no matter what hardships you face, just keep faith and reverence for God, and He's behind you, and He will guide you in your step. But I was trying to relate that to a story in the book. Like, where does that relate? Like, where does that?
Yeah. So I think it's probably like the third. So the book is a short story collection. So the third story is called For Such a Time as This, and it's about a character called Naya, who, at the height of COVID, Black Lives Matter, uses her voice, uses her writing in the workplace to kind of speak up against racial injustice. And that scripture really resonates with her and is like linked with her purpose in terms of writing and stuff. So that's kind of where it came from.
Sorry to interrupt.
Oh, yeah, go on.
I go everywhere, right? So
that sounds wild.
I've got like two questions actually. So first of all, like you say you're a Christian. How important is your faith to you? And you know, we live in a world where it's like easy to not really have faith, actually, not be really religious. And what's made you like stick to it?
Yeah, so I think my faith is a big part of who I am. I would say it's everything to me. I feel like life is difficult, and there are times where you like kind of question like, why is God doing things? But that having life without faith doesn't make sense to me. Like, I think faith helps me to navigate the challenges of life.
Have you never given up one time? Instead?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the Bible speaks a lot about like lament, and there's so many people in the Bible who like question God, like angry with God, and I think that's a really human experience. And so I think that's all part of the journey. But ultimately, it's about like trust in God.
No,
yeah,
I hear that.
Should we say that's part of the message throughout the book as well?
Yeah, I would say so, because I think the book deals with like a lot of difficult themes, topics, situations, but ultimately, I wanted to kind of show like hope and joy in the midst of like challenging times.
And my second question was going to be like, during COVID times, BLM marches. Is that just before COVID or during COVID?
During COVID, yeah.
Like, where was your head at? I mean, this is like a broader question to all of us, as we're all like black people as well. We're there, we're experiencing it and stuff. Where was your head at? All of you guys. It's an open question, everybody actually. But I'm gonna start with you. But like, what was your head at during that moment?
It was really hard. Like, it was really difficult, and I've tried to kind of reflect that in that story. I think one of the reasons it was so hard was because it felt very overwhelming, because we were all inside, everyone was online, so you're kind of everything was coming at you from different angles. And
so many videos, isn't it?
So many videos, and just like the conversations and things that kind of came up as a result of George Floyd as well. So I remember I think there was like one of the schools near me, they basically put out like this statement of all like the racial abuse that they had experienced in the school over the years. and so it's like people weren't just living like present trauma, but like past traumas. And then I guess a lot of people didn't have like their normal kind of defense mechanisms as well. So it was a really intense time.
Yeah, because I just remember the moment as in during that time. I remember like, obviously when George Floyd died, I saw the video. I don't know if those videos like circulate internet on a frequent basis, but maybe it's COVID. Everyone had like time to see it.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing it. I'm very like angry, trying to go to the marches, and there's more videos coming out. I'm fuming.
Did you try to go to the marches?
I've been to the marches, bro, but hold on. But now I'm like, I respect the marches, but like, I could have gone, I could not have gone. If that makes sense.
What came out of that? Like, what do you feel? What do you think the marches done for us? Blank.
I abused a couple of police officers verbally. Still, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. Made them feel shameful, bro. I cussed them out. Still, made me feel good.
But for the bigger picture, what did that really?
Made me feel good.
Okay, cool.
I don't know. I think it was a case of like showing solidarity with our diaspora in America. And obviously, I see on Twitter sometimes there's so many like random like social media wars of Americans and whatever. But like that was like really. And I was just showing it solidarity together, and then obviously you start seeing things about like I don't know. I thought oh god, I forgot her name. The British lady that got killed, the police. So
Sandra.
Yeah,
in America.
Yeah. No, in England.
Like immigration.
I can't remember what happened to her, but it was something like that. But obviously,
like, years ago though. Like
yeah. But obviously, it came out during the. You start seeing all these things. You're like angry at the police and whatnot, and then recently there's that woman that got shot in America
in the face.
And now I'm challenged with this dilemma. It's like, what do I do now? Do I go in the same like anger spree I went before, or do I just carry on it? Because obviously those videos were triggering us, bro. It was causing mental health in us. I thought for a fact no one even addressed that. You're seeing triggering videos, people like oppressing people like yourself or yourself, and you're kind of like getting angry, getting depressed, and when you're screaming, I'm gonna go out there and do this thing. But now it's like, how much more can we take? Obviously,
so all you need to do, like, so coming back to that, so my favorite part of the book is Ghana in December. So David, he was suffering inside, and I think the moral of that story is that he kind of just needed someone to talk to. He's got like a close group of friends, and he kind of kept it bottled up inside until one of his friends kind of reached out to him, and then he kind of let go. Some of his anger was kind of displayed while they were in Ghana, and the reason why that's one of my favorite stories is because I can relate to it a bit. So I've got a twin brother as well.
No way.
Have you got a twin?
Nah, but in the book.
Yeah, in the book, David is a twin. He lost his twin brother in a car accident, and did his because of that grief, his dad committed suicide, right?
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
So his dad committed suicide. So it was just from a family of 4 to a family of 2. Him and his mum survived. His mum went back to Ghana to remarry, but he stayed in England. But he kind of kept this inside. None of his friends even knew that his brother died until one time when they went to Ghana, and then he had an outburst in a club, and then he had to tell the reason, innit? But I think that was like letting him free, kind of letting. And I think the message in that as well is because I think the themes of code switching, not being who you are. Yeah. And I think the message in that is because remember his grief came around every winter. It said, imagine being stuck in England in the winter, depressed, and then he used to live in Ghana, and then every time he thinks of Ghana, he's getting the memories of his brother. But he just went to Ghana, and all the memories just came rushing back, and like he kind of made up with his mum. He kind of found peace, and yeah, that was a because I used to live in Jamaica as well.
Oh, is it? Okay.
I got a twin brother. I used to live in Jamaica. Oh, okay. Like different things were just kind of.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
A lot of people love that story.
Yeah, that's my favorite one.
It took me a really long time to get that story right. But it's I think a lot of the stories are kind of inspired by like elements of like real life, but that story
Oh right, okay.
completely like made up.
It's completely
Oh,
made
is
up.
it?
Completely made up.
Really?
Yeah.
I
Completely
was
made
gonna
up,
ask,
yeah.
is any of the other ones like from real life?
No
Yeah.
spoiler alerts.
So
You have to buy the
so
book.
for such a time as this is like in terms of the story, probably about 75% true of an experience I went through in the workplace.
That was my second favorite one because we work corporate as well, and some of those things you have to kind of do, especially when you're the only one in the workplace, and then when you see your brethren and you kind of and then you kind of people make comment about your hair and all that kind of stuff and like workplace banter, and sometimes people just laugh it off. Not me, but
But how many funny guys you meet in the workplace who are like, you think you'll be like an ally, and you think, oh,
An ally.
if you have a black man, and you go to him, yo, it's like, hey, blessing, how are you? I'm like, I'm good, thanks, brother. How are you? Yeah. See, I said brother again. I can't fully do it.
They're not like us, bro.
But that story was about, so basically she worked in this office, and over time she collected a group of friends of similar background. They created a group chat and whatnot, and they used to vibes, and every lunchtime they used to hang together. And then over time, some people might go their separate way, get new jobs, and she was like one of the last ones left, right? So she kind of had to deal with that.
Oh, that's actually another character in a different story.
Yeah, that
one. Yeah,
that one's called Back to the Office.
Oh yeah.
So basically, after COVID, everyone came back to the office. She had to get used to the office life again. The code switching and all that kind of stuff. And then at the end, she found interest in a guy. It kind of took her mind off what she was going through. Is that the kind of moral of that?
Yeah, that's what I saw as well. A lot of escapism.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't really think about it in that way, but I guess so. Yeah, I guess so. I think I wrote that story when I went back to the office in like 2022. I think it was like maybe March or something. And I think I really had enjoyed working from home. I liked the freedom. I had more time to write, I had more time to read. And I just felt like it was infringing on my like freedom.
Okay.
And so yeah, I think just being back, it just kind of brought all these kind of feelings and stuff. A lot of my friends, because everyone, you know, like how it was kind of hybrid. So back in the day, we would all be in like 4 or 5 days a week, so we'd all see each other. Whereas going back to the office, people come in different days, you kind of like miss each other. And then I think I was in the canteen and I just had an idea for a story.
Do you feel like you have to code switch?
Not as much anymore because I've left that kind of work environment. I'm writing full time. But I think I do a lot of stuff with so me and my sister, my cousin, we run a collective called the Orange Room Collective. So we run an open mic. We run a community conversation in Woolwich at a venue called Woolwich Works.
Nice.
So, you know, we interact with a lot of kind of different stakeholders.
But I'm gonna take you back to like when you're in the office. Do you feel like you had to code switch? And the reason I'm saying that is because I'm speaking to you right now. You're very well spoken. You're very articulate. And did you feel like you still had to code switch when you're in the corporate world? And what does code switching look like for you?
I think, say for example, if I'm with people from London, like yourselves, I speak a bit differently to how I do at work. I think we all have that in some kind of ways. Like even if you go back home, wherever that is, I find sometimes you just speak a bit differently, to be understood. So like even if we're literally speaking the same language, but my Jamaican family are not understanding what I'm saying because of my accent. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I think we all have that. I think in the workplace, it didn't feel like a totally safe space, to be honest with you. And I think that's why building community, connecting with other Black people was really important to me in the workday because it kind of felt like an escape. I didn't feel like I had to kind of keep being like, I don't know, like putting on a performance. It's really draining actually. And I think that's why I was so tired going back into the office because I was like,
code switching is just more than the type of words you're using. It's
your behavior.
It's the way you would act around, say, us compared to in the office that you would deem maybe acceptable. Like, oh yeah, when I'm around you, like, I'll do this, but when I'm in the office, I have to
like the things that you talk about. Like there's certain things I wouldn't talk to with like work colleagues. versus like people that became friends, you know?
Yep. I've got like a thing about this. So initially, when I first started working in the corporate world, I was terrible at like code switching. It's in terms of I speak people how I speak normally, and my friends tell me, bro, you can't speak like that. That's not how it works. Obviously, I tried to switch it up, which I do all the time. I still do it now. And then my coach was like, "Yeah, how you doing, James? You alright? How's it going? Yeah." And it's all madness, yeah.
You used to do that.
I probably still do it now. But one my friend broke it down to me one time. He's like, "Bro, like the way you speak here is a regional accent. Like you're from a certain part of England and you speak like this, and it's fine. You get Terry from Liverpool coming in the office and and no one bats an eyelid to it. I think sometimes, yeah, we have to be confident in our abilities, yeah, and know what we're doing. Obviously, I know it's easier said than done because obviously it's against us and stuff, yeah. But I do want to say this, yeah, we have to be confident in what we are saying and what our capabilities are,
Yeah.
and not just be there being sheepish and trying to like fit in. Because people will accept you every way. Because if you're talented, you're talented. No one can deny talent.
You know what I have to say as well? A lot of the time, it's not always code switching. A lot of the time, it's if you were to go and speak to your parents, you wouldn't speak to them the same way you speak to your friends on the street.
That's true.
If you were to go to your pastor, you wouldn't speak to him the same. So it's not always necessarily code switching because it's like a level of respect and manners. So like you as a big man, like you would expect some of these youngers to not if they're addressing you, it's all good because you can relate to them and stuff. But if you're trying to teach and be an example of, it's good to kind of approach someone in a respectful way, as you would do your mum, your elders, and you know what I mean.
I understand that. But my point was just like, I think sometimes we feel very conscious about the way we speak and come across. And I think myself is like, be confident in who you are. Even the way you're speaking, it doesn't matter what you're saying or how you sound. As long as what you're saying is got weight towards it. It doesn't you're talented, you're saying what it means. Like, I could be saying whatever I'm saying. I could be going like. But as long as like my point is making sense, you can't deny that.
Yeah, and that is the way. I don't think you should be disadvantaged for that because that's something totally different. Like everyone should have an opportunity to.
No, 100%.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Sorry, go on, Pat.
I was just gonna say, was it you that was crushing on a boy on a train?
Is that the real? Is that
DLR.
Was that you?
75% that was real.
That is actually made
That's the
up.
75.
It's actually made up. It's actually made up. But a lot of people love that story.
Actually, so since they're made up, what inspires you to come with these stories? Like,
I just think of scenarios, yeah, and things that people could relate to. I think a lot of people, particularly, well, now so, but a lot of people on their phone, but a lot of people read on the train. You know, that they have their like work routine. You often kind of see the same people, and I just kind of wanted to write a story which I think people would relate to.
what was your? All right.
Was there a point to that one? Sorry, Jay.
Oh, you go.
Was there a point to that one though?
I just thought it was a cool way to open the collection.
Okay,
yeah.
Nice and light. Okay, I got you. Yeah.
And there's a link to the last story as well. If you clock that.
Are you romantic?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you have a partner, or this is just a weird question? Or if you don't have a partner, do you expect your partner to be romantic and trying to like woo you? Because obviously, I feel like you're a writer.
Yeah.
You probably have a very good not imagination, but it is imagination, isn't it?
Yeah, no,
you know how you want things to happen.
Yeah.
Do you have high expectations on your partner to be romantic and?
Yeah, absolutely.
Is it?
Wait, to add on to that, you find someone holding a book that you know romantic.
Yeah, because I like reading.
Okay.
It's like common interest, you know? Yeah, like everyone has that.
Oh, like films and.
Yeah, but I think because I love reading, if I saw a guy reading my favorite book on the train, I would be, or just wherever, I would be intrigued.
So
you would approach him.
I probably, I would.
Would you?
Would you?
Yeah.
No, but in the book, like
No, I
you
would
stunting. You're stunting.
It's only because she couldn't. It's not me. The person, she couldn't get to him. She wanted to.
Yeah, man. That's just stunning, man.
So what's your favorite book for everyone out there who sees on the train? What's your favorite book anyway?
So the book that's mentioned, so Homegoing. Yeah, by Young Essie.
Is that by the lady that you were speaking about before?
No, that's Bernadine Evaristo.
Okay.
Yeah, I do like her.
Okay.
Well. Yeah.
Can I dial it back a bit, obviously, because I feel like we just talked about bare random stuff in between, like your story, like your life story kind of thing. Obviously, you went Dartford Boys. After Dartford Boys, what did you go to university to study?
So I went to Leeds University and I studied international development and politics.
Mhm.
And I did a semester abroad in Ghana. And then a year, like straight afterwards, I did a master's in African studies at Oxford. And then,
But you went to Ghana. You say you went to Ghana.
yeah, as part of my
Is it?
undergrad in Leeds, yeah.
Where did you stay in Ghana?
Where?
Yeah.
So East Legon, yeah.
And how does that work? Like, who do they appoint you to stay with someone, or do you just find your own
No, so
accommodation?
I was in university accommodation.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
so there was this place called International Students Hostel.
Mm.
There was 1 and 2, and I was in 2.
What was it like just being like black and then everyone's just black and then
Yeah,
there's no.
It was
It's
amazing.
just you're just normal out there, I guess.
Yeah, it was such a amazing experience. Like definitely up
What
there.
was your biggest lesson learned being in Ghana?
That I'm happiest being in the sun.
Happiest being in
Yeah.
the sun.
Well,
This country is so depressing.
I'll make a point for
Facts.
Jay. You don't talk about people getting depressed in the winter, yeah?
Yeah.
It's actually a condition. It's called seasonal. It's called SAD.
SAD.
Yeah.
Seasonal.
Yeah.
Seasonal. I forgot what the aim stands for.
Yeah.
Seasonal.
Every
Hey, some depression. So what happens in the winter?
Yeah.
There's lack of vitamin D, and people get depressed, and they're all like lowly and that.
Yeah.
So that's what David has in Ghana.
Oh, he had SAD.
Yeah, that's yeah. Because he said every winter this depression seems to come across him.
That's why you got to fly out, man.
Yeah, that was. But he never used to. He didn't fly out regularly.
Well, he would fly to
Dubai. Yeah, he would find an excuse. And that was why he found an excuse not to go to Dubai because of he thought it would trigger a lot of like memories and trauma and stuff like that. He would always make an excuse. He say, no, I'd rather go to Dubai and be in the sand dunes and dress up like the nomads and stuff like that. Yeah.
So escapism, basically.
Yeah.
So obviously, after you went to Leeds Uni, you done your year abroad in Ghana. Did it politics in? Sorry, was full name for it?
So in Leeds, I did international development and politics. And then I did a master's in African studies at Oxford.
That's right, Oxford. Hey, hold on. That's mad. But like, hey, hold on. Oxford is Oxford, you know.
Yeah.
I don't care what anybody says here. Oxford is Oxford, bro. Like, that's serious.
Thank you.
People talk about Russell Group unis like top 20. Yeah, Oxford's top 2. How did you even get into that? Parents, lecturers.
No.
As in, you're academic from the start. They encourage studying. I mean, like.
Yeah, I think obviously like.
Also, you're talented, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I guess having parents who value education definitely played a role, but I think I, as a person, very disciplined and like self-motivated, very studious. I've always been like that, and so in Leeds, I think I just patterned how to get a first. I figured out how to get a first.
Have you never been rebellious?
What do you say?
Have you never been rebellious?
We all have our rebellious.
Your parents are lecturers.
Yeah.
Are they religious?
Yeah.
It's both Christian.
Yeah.
You're growing up there, so you never like
Role models. Good
fun
role
it. I want to go out there and be outside for a bit.
Like, there's different ways to be outside. Like you don't have to be outside and do the most.
Who's your biggest role models? Your biggest or who, what, and why are your biggest influencers / role models?
I definitely think my family, so my parents and my sisters. I've got older sisters.
What do they do?
So my oldest sister, she used to work in the civil service as well, and then she kind of went to private sector, worked in comms. My other sister kind of works in the legal sector, but she's also a singer. And then my other sisters are like kind of work in the mental health space / everyone's a creative in our family, actually. Yeah, even my niece, she's in the she was in the Tina Turner musical when she was younger, Broadway, and she's currently in Stranger Things at the theatre as well. So we're all kind of
Hey, they got.
I need to see that as well.
Yeah, it's really good.
And see your books. Are any of them going to like film?
Can't discuss that on this platform, but
so
that's one of them
we'll
ones.
see.
How many books do you have anyway? How many books do you have?
This is my first one.
Oh, it's your first one?
Yeah.
So do you have all right, what's matter of fact, say you're an author, you just got your book. What's the process in in starting I want to write a new book? Like, what inspires you to start writing a new book and get the ideas and all that kind of stuff?
I'm just inspired through life, to be honest. So I have so many. I probably have about 10 ideas for future books, and I find that sentences like just come to me like fully formed. So
how good's your grammar though?
My
Your
grammar.
punctuation and that. How good is that? I need to know that. Like, you
I
know what
don't
I'm
really
saying?
think that's important, because you have an editor and proofreaders.
Oh,
It
swear down.
doesn't really
Oh.
matter. Like, as in, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter as much as you think it does.
Because my grammar's terrible.
Yeah,
like,
like, but you
on
can
WhatsApp,
still-
people were like, "What the hell? What did you mean by that?"
Stories like it's
That was
fine.
my-
Swear.
Yeah,
That was my
yeah,
next question. Like, how many? Like, do you have a collaborator? But obviously, you got your proofreaders and stuff
so
like that.
it's like I write. I had written this book. I had loads of different drafts, and then my agent kind of was the first person to kind of read through the different stories. She'd give me feedback, etc. And then when it was sent out on submission, so when I got a book deal and got an editor, then my editor would like give feedback, and then it goes to a copy editor.
Or you would have the final say in it. If your editor says, "No, we've got to take this out. We've got."
So do you know what? It's the process in my experience actually was never really like that. It was more like my editor making suggestions, and then I kind of either taking her feedback forward or not. Yeah.
I always imagine like a writer. He or she escapes to a cabin in the woods, puts on a log fire,
Yeah.
cozies up and starts writing and starts.
Why do you always do this, bro? Why do you always do this?
So what's the scene like for yourself when you're obviously you don't have a typewriter anymore? You got you got your iPad or you got your
laptop mainly. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I write best when I'm on a beach somewhere hot.
Okay.
Yeah, you've been to 40 countries, still respect a couple more books, man. Come on, man. You've been outside.
I need someone to sponsor my lifestyle so I can write my
Penguin.
So yeah, where can they find the book?
So it's on Amazon. You can get it on Waterstones, like any independent bookshop, really.
Well, Waterstone's a big deal.
Yeah, no, it is actually. It really is.
Let's not skip over that. That's like Waterstone's. Like, it's on my high street.
So how'd you? Yeah,
that's like a W. Smith.
How'd you get it in Waterstones?
It's available as W. Smith.
Oh, stop it!
How'd you get it in these places? Like, what's if I want to start writing?
So
I want my
it
book
has.
in there.
Well, generally, if you want to be traditionally published, i.e., like not self-published, you need an agent.
Hold a book, please.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you.
You need an agent.
You need an agent, and that is a person who kind of advocates for you, but also sends your book to different editors at publishers. Yeah.
Jim, I don't want to be. Remember my man? Lecky Dunno, my G. But he was saying that it's hard to even get an agent.
Yeah, it is.
So obviously, how did you go about getting an agent without even having a book? It's your first book, so how did you find one?
Let me feel the physical.
Yeah, I got the powers that I thought. Intellectual. Sorry.
That's fine. So my experience of getting an agent is really like different because generally you would finish your manuscript, so you'll have like your Word doc or whatever, and then you would send that out to loads of different agents. Do your research to find out kind of what they like. You'd write like a kind of cover letter type thing, and be met with loads of rejections. That's just normally how it works.
So sorry to stop you there. Yeah. So the other day I almost joined Scientology. So I was walking past a place the other day.
Yeah.
And then they're giving me a lecture in Scientology about how reading the books. One of the rules is you will never understand something unless you know what every word means. What actually is a manuscript?
Good point. So a manuscript is another way of saying book, basically.
Okay.
And sometimes it's shortened to MS.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's just like publishing lingo, basically. But so I was planning on kind of going through that process. I had a list of agents I wanted to send it to. But then outside of writing, I'm also a book influencer. So I do a lot of book reviews on like Instagram and Twitter and things like that. I know, like, I started during the pandemic and then just kind of got a following.
Nice.
I didn't set out to do that. It just kind of happened.
I feel like there's a term for book influencers. There's a phrase for it.
There's bookstagrammers.
That's the one. Yes.
Book talkers. Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's sick.
Yeah, and so in lockdown, I color coordinated my bookshelf. So like ordered by the colors of the rainbow, and then I had a display shelf of the books that inspire me, and that post went viral on Twitter, and a lot of people kept atting an author called Bolu Babalola. I don't know if you guys know her.
What book she got?
So her first one was Love in Color, which is a short story collection,
Okay.
and then her second one is Honey and Spice. And so loads of people were like, "Oh, I like Bolu, it's your book, it's your book." And she quote tweeted and said something, and I thought, let me just slide into her DMs, because I loved her first book, and a lot of the kind of feedback I'd got through the process of putting this together was that generally short stories don't sell as well compared to novels, and a few people like, you should turn it into a novel. But I always I had a vision of having an interconnected short story collection, and so it was really inspiring for me to see Bolu as someone who had done that. And so I reached out to her, and I just said, like, loved your book. I'm going to be applying to agency, and it'd be great to have like a Zoom call, or like, I think I said it'd be good to get some advice. And I thought the worst that could happen is that she won't respond to me. Yeah. And she did. She got back to me, and then we had a Zoom, and then she introduced me to her agent, who then introduced me to my now agent. And so they basically signed me before my book was even finished, which is not normally how it happens.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Just so we can get to know you a bit better, we've got some spitfire questions.
Yeah. You want to start?
So
Gonna kick off? I'll go kick off. All right, cool. Top 3 books of all time.
I'm going
Bye.
Yag Yassi.
What's it about?
You have time for that?
We're
Spit
doing
fire.
spitfire. Yeah.
We got time. I want to hear what. Just give it out to the people then.
Just go.
Sorry,
Second.
okay. I'll shut up. Sorry.
Okay. The Vanished in Half by Britt Bennett and Open Water by Caleb Azuma Nelson.
Okay.
All right. Top 3 films of all time.
Oh gosh. Why's my mind gone blank? I'm just gonna do like the favorites, the first things that come to mind. Gosh.
I'll skip that one.
Yeah, skip that one, please. It's
Top
not too
3
long.
authors.
Top 3 authors. Britt Bennett, Taraji Jones, Marlon James.
What? Are they sisters or just random? Are they sisters? Taraji and Marlon, are they both like no, not related? No.
No. Yeah.
Right. If you were stuck on an island and you had 3 items, what would they be?
I have a phone.
Yeah.
Is
No
that
reception.
yeah,
No reception.
yeah,
No
fair.
reception.
No reception.
No
Oh.
reception.
No charger.
No charger. Okay, that's useless. Okay. A notebook, compass, helpful.
What? Wait, pause.
Yeah, no, that's a random one.
Can you
still.
tell where north and south is right now? Hey, I struggle with that. I don't even know where north and south, east and west. You go, yeah, it's north of this place. I'm like, what does that mean?
The compass will help you
To what?
to know where north is.
But you're stuck on an island, though.
Yes,
It don't matter.
To help you not get stuck.
No, but
I
you're
think-
Nah, you need
stuck.
a map, not a compass. Because honestly, wait.
And I think
The
it
map's
would.
not-
I think it would help.
The map's not
How?
gonna help me.
How?
Because you'll be able to see, like,
What? Get on the other side of the island? What?
you'll be able to see which.
No, you haven't been able to get to the upside of the island. You don't even know where you're going.
Yeah, but isn't the point to get off the island?
Yeah,
But also, but if you go north
You're
and you
stuck.
end up at a beach, if you go west, you end up at a beach.
Yeah, but it will help you with your bearings and.
Yeah, help
stuff.
you
You're
with your bearings.
stuck.
You'll be able to see what's the nearest place to the island, maybe
Yeah.
as well. Trust me, there's a purpose.
Nobody,
No, you're not touching
nobody
that
knows
campus.
where north, east, west, and south is. I'll tell you right now
Yeah,
for free.
they do. That's what a compass is
Yeah, that's
for.
what a compass.
Okay, point me, show me where north is. Point right now where north is.
So no, where we would.
Without a compass, people know where north is, isn't it? You know,
Yeah.
oh, it's the north of me. You
No,
don't know.
If I'm standing outside, I know.
Yeah. Anyway,
If
moving
you're on
on.
an island, we're gonna go though.
Yeah, no, I get his point though. And the third thing,
A knife.
Sorry.
a knife.
Yeah.
All right, cool. If you was to remake or make a film adaptation of any book, what would it be?
Oh, I think it'd be really cool to see Homegoing by Yag Yassi. Was it just one?
Just one.
Just one. Yeah, that's the one.
Choose one. Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, or Star Wars, or Twilight.
Or Twilight.
Lord of the Rings.
What is it in films or books. What are we talking about here?
Just any. Yeah.
Lord of
Story.
the Rings is flipping cold. You know what? Yeah, I'll tell you one time. Yeah, I was in uni. I tried to watch Lord of the Rings before I went to uni. I thought it was horrible. Then one time I was in uni. Also, you know, like there's that bit where you like finish uni and you got like an extra month for free in your accommodation, and I just back to back all Lord of the Rings films.
Better than Star Wars though.
Lord of the Rings is a bad boy.
The
It's serious, you
No,
know.
I've seen it.
The original Star Wars is good, but the new stuff is.
Don't know about Star Wars. You like Star Wars?
Yeah, the original stuff.
All right, self-help, history, poetry, or non-fiction.
Sorry, say that again.
Self-help,
Self-help,
history,
history,
poetry,
poetry.
or non-fiction.
What about just general fiction?
And fiction.
Okay, I'll go with your list. I would say poetry.
Matter of fact,
You like poetry?
Yeah, I read a lot of poetry. It really helps me to write.
You know a guy called Caleb.
Femi.
Yeah. I know Caleb Femi. He's cool.
Yeah, he's been on here with us.
Oh, is it?
Pick him up still.
I'm have to invite him back.
He end up in
cold.
anthropology. So I'm hearing he's like the young boys version of John Agard. I don't know if you did that in your school, but you know, half caste. What do you mean half caste? Yeah, you know about John Agard. Come on.
If you were to write a self-help book, what would it be about?
Friendship.
Friendship.
Yeah.
And if you've written poetry, haven't you?
Poetry.
What's the next one?
We can skip to what's the last song you played on Spotify? We can skip the other ones. What's the last one?
We're gonna skip that one, and I'm gonna go and ask you, what actually made you want to write?
This book or in general?
No, just in general. Like, obviously, you wrote this book, but what inspired your interest in writing?
So, I think I've always loved writing, but 5 years ago, I met an author.
So, in school, did you used to write?
Yeah, like in English.
No, I'm just asking. Obviously, you got a big book right here. Like, obviously, like, how did you actually want to like? Was just that you're writing along when you're young, and then you got to you thought, you know, actually, it's time for me to put things together.
I think a lot of people kind of sometimes have this romantic idea of like people always wanting to write. Like, I didn't really think I had that feeling very strongly.
In a cabin with a
like
fireplace.
I've always loved writing, but it's not like I want to be a writer. Do you know what I'm saying? That came later. So like literally 5 years ago, where I met Bernardine Resto. So she wrote a book called Girl, Woman, Other. It's like an interconnected like novel, and I was just really inspired by her journey, and it reminded me how much I loved writing. I hadn't really done it since like being in uni and just writing essays and dissertations, reading nonfiction, and I asked her about like how you can develop your craft as a writer, and she spoke about the importance of reading. She said if you want to be a good writer, you need to be a good reader, and said, do courses. And so like short story, courses to develop your writing, creative writing courses.
What are these courses? Where can you find them?
So I have done a number of courses at City Lit. So City Lit is in Holborn, I think. It's a higher education institute for adults. So they do loads of courses, including writing courses. I have done one in short stories. They've got like an advanced fiction writing workshop, which I did, and another one called like starting your novel.
Did you have to pay for these courses?
Yeah, but they're very affordable compared to other.
That's good.
Yeah. So that really, really helps me. So I think ever since then, I was like, yeah, I actually want to one day publish a book. And 5 years later, here we are.
And saying that, have you thought about a little excerpt that you can read out of there?
Yeah, I mean, do you have a favorite?
Read something from read when David is on the beach with Jonathan.
From there,
he's got his twin fixed there. Still.
Yeah, read that bit.
Into that middle camera for us.
That bit is deep. Cool. Where he starts tearing the first time you. Actually, let me leave.
Do you think I should read from there or earlier when
you choose?
Read earlier. Yeah. What makes sense to you?
All right. How long do I have?
You got
as long as you like.
Well, not all night, but.
Should I read from the beginning of that story?
Yeah. Go on.
And just stop me where I need to stop. Yeah.
Okay,
cool. So this is from Ghana in December. Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, I mean, I'll be reading. But anyway, David wakes up drenched in sweat, his white tee damp. He is haunted each December by the nightmare. It replaces the dreams he doesn't remember in the month that marks his birthday. The scene is always the same, of a car coming fast, shattering bones and obliterating a heartbeat. The body is a mirror to his own, but broken, no longer brown and beautiful, filled with joy and hope for things to come. Instead, it is limp, covered in warm blood. Sitting up on the sofa, he wipes the beads of moisture from his forehead. He needs to suppress the panic in his depths, and so he reaches for his phone. He realizes that it's barely 8 p.m. The nightmare has been causing insomnia with random naps working from home during the day. He opens Instagram, reads a few stories, and then uploads a picture which he captions throwback. He unveils to his 2,766 followers a shot of him dressed in a silk shirt, linen shorts, and Ray-Ban glasses. He is holding the steering wheel of a yacht, which shows his once bulging biceps. It is another stilled image adding to his reputation as Mr. Enjoyment, one of many in his curated feed of lifestyle and luxury. Other pictures show him perched on a white BMW 3 Series, a Rolex on his wrist, and a Versace belt on full display, and further afield, outstretched on a sun lounger in Santorini. The likes cascade in with comments including, "Hey, my guy," and "Geez." It feels good, but it's more than that. Beyond attempting to forget the nightmare, part of him hopes that engaging in this virtual abyss will remove what feels like darkness, but it rises to the surface. He stands up. He walks out onto the balcony of his riverside apartment in Royal Arsenal. The balcony directly beneath him is decorated with an aloe vera plant, an outdoor sofa, and a string of vintage fairy lights. He zones into a sole unlit bulb amidst the illuminated ones. He is trying to recall from secondary school physics whether it is a series or a parallel circuit. Then he walks closer to the edge of the balcony. He takes in the river beneath him, pitch black under the night sky, the realm beyond the 23 stories below. He wonders what it would mean to give himself to the water without struggle, whether being submerged will remove what feels like terror that he's unable to shift. If maybe on the other side of water entering his lungs is freedom, he is still for some time. His phone flashes a glow of bright white. It's an incoming call from Jonathan. David looks at the name for some time, thinking about the text he'd received a few days ago. "You good, bro?" David had wanted to say, "Nah, I'm not. I can't lie." But he didn't reply, airing the message. He thinks now to do the same, but knows Jonathan will call him again and again. Back on the sofa, he picks up and says, "Yo," to which David replies, "My G," in their regular greeting since meeting during Freshers Week nearly a decade ago.
We'll stop you there. So basically, can you just summarize what you read so far?
So basically, it's lockdown 2020. David is inside, like he's in this apartment. He's like an investment banker, works, I guess, somewhere like Canary Wharf or the city, and he's really struggling with his mental health. His friend from university, Jonathan, has called him like a number of times to check in on him, but he keeps airing the call. But on this occasion, he picks up, and when he's out on the balcony, I kind of wanted to show that he's kind of contemplating, or like having suicidal thoughts, basically, which is really common for many people.
You consider public speaking?
Me.
You didn't like fumble or nothing, and you read a lot of words that I was impressed. I was like, whoa.
Thank you very much.
Very good. And by the way, you'd have to read on to know.
Okay, cool.
No, sorry, no,
I got it. Yeah.
You can't get it for free.
Yeah, you'd have to. But it's a very good story. But he looks upon an unlit bulb. Yeah. I took that as a metaphor to say that that's him.
Come on, English lit.
Yeah. I took that as a metaphor to because an unlit bulb amongst many. That him has lost his dimness.
Yeah.
I took that as
he lost his light. Yeah.
He lost his light. Yeah. He lost his light.
Yeah. I love that.
And that's I think that's why he fixated on it, because he's thinking, "Oh, that's me." Like, yeah. Amongst the other lights.
Yeah.
Is it audible as well?
It's coming out next Thursday.
So are you narrating it?
No, I'm not.
What are you talking about? What are you doing? Like, what's going on there?
Would you get in English?
English lit. I think I got an A star, and then
Same
English
number.
language an A or something. The other way.
Same
So
number.
who's narrating your book then?
Obviously.
Who think you're reading?
So there's 4 different narrators.
Have you already chosen them?
Yeah. I'm sorry, guys.
Why don't you want to do it yourself?
No, I actually did. I wanted to do at least a few.
We're upset right now. We're fuming.
Yeah.
We're like
If anyone,
angry fans.
I'm sorry.
if anyone wants the Mandem Read to narrate their book, you know?
Never.
Can you imagine?
Selling point.
I'd code switch for you, man. Then. You're right, John. John went to the shops lately. Yeah, I'm joking. It's like,
So,
No. Wrapping up.
lastly, what would be your message to say a young guy, young girl who wants to become an author? What would be your message there?
To write. I think a lot of people like the idea of writing, but they don't write. And I think sometimes when people think about writing, they think about writing for hours on end. I'm a really big fan of or advocate for compound interest. The power of just doing 15 minutes a day, 5 days a week. You know, it goes a really long way. So yeah, write, start small, build it up, be consistent. For me, I write best in the mornings. So generally between it varies now, but there was a period of time when I was working where from 7 to 9 was my writing time. And then also the same for reading as well. Like if you want to be a good writer, you need to read. And the same principle applies of, reading 15 minutes a day goes a long way.
what kind of writing styles do you like?
I really like kind of lyrical prose. So that's why I read a lot of poetry actually. Yeah. I think it helps me to. So I think even the extract I read, it was quite poetic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It's very descriptive. Yeah.
Can you plug yourself? Tell people where to find you, how to reach you out, and work and stuff.
I'm on socials, so Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, even Facebook. That's a page. At _Shani Akilah, and particularly on Instagram, you can find details of my book tour. So I'm touring country, doing events, bookshop events, community events. And you can buy for such a time as this at your local bookshop. If not, you can request it in, and you can also buy it on Amazon, and Audible will be out on the 1st of August.
Nice.
It's been a pleasure having you.
Thank you for having me.
And last but not least, do you mind telling that camera who you with and what you've done today?
So my name is Shani Akilah. I have been with the Mandem Read podcast discussing my book, my debut for such a time as this, which came out in June.
Let's go.
Amazing.
Thanks, guys.
We appreciate you coming down.
Thank you for coming down.
Thanks for having me.